All right, apologies for the technical difficulties. We'll get back to the broadcast very soon. Fingers crossed everything is now fixed up and ready to go properly. I'm just waiting to get back into the lobby. Resume this already in progress. Round 9 race at Texas, presented by Beat the Dark. Damn it. All right, we're going to rejoin this already in action race as my software slowly catches up to it. It is lap 30 of 167. Race leader Jason Holdsworth, Adam Malone in second, Edward Foster in third. Nick Bottle, Stephen Williams, Darren McKenzie, Andy Barber, Maxie Marshall, and Ron Thompson. Top 10, Connor Nixon, Nigel Seidel, Gareth Anderson, Ruben Phelps, Nathan Button, Kelvin Clark, Adam Johnson, Mark Cochran, Brian Blundell, and Matthew Budd. Round out the 20. Then we've got Matthew Raymond. Everything looks a bit, I don't want to jinx it, it looks settled. Noddy Tompkins, Jared Williams, Ryan Carlson, Marty Mitchell. It looks like we do have a couple of cars down a lap or two. Matt Patton down 9 laps. He was supposed to start on the front row, did not make the start. And Tristan Kosh looks to be maybe half a lap or currently in the midst of being lapped in traffic. Currently looking out of the 3 car, Edward Foster. That would be Adam Malone in front of him. This is Adam Malone. There he is there. We'll catch up to the cameras in a moment as we start to enjoy the fact that this broadcast is working again. I think some of the guys might not have been able to jump back in to the viewing because we had to end it and jump back. But we'll see how we go. Top 5 there, Adam Malone, Foster, Lachlan Akijo, and Nick Bottle. The leader, though, Jason Holdsworth, just off to the left of the screen. We can't quite see him because of the leaderboard. There he is up ahead of them. Now 45 to 50 is the pit window. It looks like everyone's still on that lap run here. Appreciate you for liking the stream. Broadcast lolly. I like it better when Moist does, though. No. There it is, Moist Mauler coming through with the like. So I got myself some homework, find out why we are still not dropping frames, but we are, still a little issue that work with that. We'll see how we go. There's the 42, that's Lachlan Akijo, Nick Bottle. I think I say a lot of names different, 5 times per race. Racing along there. Currently on lap 36, everyone in the top 10. Oh, it looks like Jason Holdsworth, Ron Thompson, Nigel Seidel have all gone into the pit window 45 to 50, but some of them may be thinking that some cautions to come potentially as the tyres wear on. Have to wait and see. ahead of him, but behind him there we see Brian and Matthew. They've got Nigel and Jared back there as well. Lap 39. Still 167 lap race. So lap 39, quite early stages. But this is definitely where the boys will start looking at their fuel, their tyre wear, and going, all right, how much longer can I run it like this until I have to pit? I think some guys, if they think there's enough tyre wear, they will run it a bit harder because they know they're going to be able to get into those pits and get some new shooters, get some fuel, get back out there with that extra weight, and they can resume that battle. Triple 7, Clark has just gone into the pits. He's going to come out a lap or two down, but a lot of the guys ahead of him, 21 cars on 40 green flag laps worth of tyre wear. They'll be looking to go in within the next 10 laps. We're going to get some spots back when that happens. A lot of the guys will pit early because of that. Another 2 stops with 1 bit potentially. We'll see how that goes, but there's still at least 1 more stop, so you don't have to worry about too much of where you are track position or race wise. That orange and black is the 225 of Nick Botterill. Sorry, Nick. Currently running in 4th place. He does have the 26th place Nathan Button behind him. He's 2 laps down. That is just simply because Nathan pit a bit earlier than the rest of the guys. But once again, as I said before, he'll look to get those laps back as he can. The up ahead, Nick Lachlan, Akijo, Adam Malone, current race leader Edward Foster. 53, the 1, the 42, all up ahead of the 225. Looks like the 42 and the 1 have swapped spots. He's got Adam Malone. The 1 car's going to fall back to 3rd. Lachlan's going to move up into 2nd. Thank you, Justin. You have a great rest of your day. I think it's only morning. It's Friday morning for you, so you have a great Friday. It was pretty good for me. I hope it's just as good for you, buddy. Thank you for checking in. We'll see you again Sunday night American for your regular viewing schedule. The 1 of Adam Malone back in 3rd place. He does have Nick Botterill in the Toyota just behind him. Is Nick looking for an opening to get past, or is he happy just to cruise behind him and race? Well, the 167 of Nathan Button 2 laps down, but only because he pit a few laps earlier than the rest of the guys. He's also there wanting to race past, get some laps back. But as we come, I can see on the track map the lead car, the 53, is just crossing the start-finish line for the start of the 47th lap. This is where the boys really will be looking at fuel. That'll be the main concern. How much fuel have I got at the moment? How many more laps can I run? What is the minimum I need before I pit? And what is the maximum just in case you need to stay out a lap extra? So start to see more cars pit here. Lachlan Akijo's gone in. It looks like Connor Nixon has already pit and getting his race back on track. But I can see at least, what's that, 7, Jeez, about still 19 cars on race fresh tyres, so that's going to be very interesting. Pit windows about 50, so they should, if depending on how they've run, they should definitely have 2 laps of fuel in the tank, but it's just how much extra. All right, we're starting to see a couple of the guys pull into the pits. Adam Malone went in. Edward Foster, Stephen Williams, Andy Barber. So Nick Botterill, Darren McKenzie, they're 2 guys that have stayed out. Ruben Phelps has also stayed out, it appears. Look, the 225, he's pulling in. That was the 229, sorry, that was. Pulling into the pits there. 225 has stayed out with Darren McKenzie. That's Nick Botterill, Darren McKenzie. Ruben Phelps, Mark Cochran. Looks like Mark might be staying out in the 15 car. Trying to get an idea on the track map where everyone is. I can see Mark on the track map now. He has stayed out. So at least 2 or 3 cars staying out. Nick Botterill has gone in. Darren McKenzie, Ruben Phelps. Also Mark Cochran, Jared Williams, Noddy Tompkins and Marty Mitchell, the 4 cars still out on the track that really must be running on fumes by now. Let's see how that goes. Nick Botterill and Darren McKenzie, they've been in and out, going back into the lead, so that is going to be a very brave ball for Mark Cochran, Jared Williams and Noddy Tompkins, especially also Marty Mitchell back there in 7th. There they go. They're all 4 of them going in now. So there are a number of cars that have already been in and are back out past them. So the highest they can sort of be on them, return back out to about 4th or 5th. But we're starting to see a lot of cars rejoin that fray, get some of those laps back, move back up into their natural running positions. Mark Cochran's our race leader. Jason Holdsworth 2nd and 3rd. Foster, 4th. 5th, it looks like Stephen Williams, Noddy Tompkins and Jared Williams, Marty Mitchell still in the pits. They're starting to come out now as we hit lap 52. Technical difficulties earlier. For those of you just tuning in, this is the Australian NASCAR eSeries. Their Friday night trucks powered by Beat the Dark competition. This is round 9 for Texas Motor Speedway, Fort Worth, USA. Some truck action, 167 laps to be exact. Truck action, we have 53 laps in though. Almost 54. No cautions as of yet. A little bit of mixture in the pitting stages. Some guys are out there with about 18 laps of green flag running on their 2nd run. Most of the front runners and new guys, those guys up there, 4 to 5 laps in on those tyres. That's the 5 of Andy Barber there. He's currently in 8th position. Darren McKenzie behind him. We just saw briefly the 550 of Tristan Koch. A number of lap traffic cars in front of Andy. 4 in fact. Brian J. Blundell, Marty Mitchell, Kelvin Clark and Tristan Koch. 22, 23, 24 and 25. Lachlan Akijo is very deep amongst a number of lap traffic cars, but he's on the 56th lap leading this race. Edward Foster's currently 2nd, Stephen Williams, Jason Holdsworth and Nick Botterill, that is the 5. We've got Adam Malone, Ron Thompson, Andy Barber, and then Darren McKenzie, who we see on our screens. That's the 9th car, 10th car just there behind him, Maxie Marshall. is that Connor Nixon? That is Maxi Marshall. Then we've got Connor Nixon in 11th, Ruben Phelps 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th, Gareth Anderson, Nigel Seidel, Nathan Button, Matthew Raymond, Ryan Carlson, Adam Johnson, Mark Cochran, and Jared Williams. That's 20. Looks like Matthew Budd and Matt Patton have popped it in the pits, and that's where they currently are. But the 25 is 25. Sorry, Jared Williams, Noddy Thompson, Marty Mitchell, Brian Blundell, Kelvin Clark, and Tristan Koch. I think I might have spurred something in Matthew Budd because he's now back out on the track. It's just Matt Patton, in the pits. As we see the 42 there, Lachlan Akisha, he's our race leader. He has got lap traffic cars everywhere in front of him. He's got a bit of lap traffic cars behind him, but he does have directly behind him, as we see coming to the screen a little bit there on the right, the 53 of Edward Foster. And then that yellow car, who is Adam Johnson, 17th place. So really mixing it up here. Caution obviously would be good to straighten everyone up, get everyone in the racing order so they can resume their proper battles, but you want it to go as green flag as possible. You want the boys to really have every, I guess, potential outcome, every opportunity to race and keep it green. Conclusion. These boys are racing it out. There's about 9 cars still on the green flag lap, possibly 14, depending on how they go. Nick Bottle, Adam Malone, Jason Ultra, Thompson, that is the 7. They're on the lead lap. But Andy Barber, Connor Nixon, Darren McKenzie, Gareth Anderson, Ruben Phelps, Ryan Carlson can battle their way back into it. A lap down, though, is Adam Johnson, Nathan Button, Nigel Seidel, Matthew Raymond, Mark Cochran, Dottie Tompkins, Joe Williams, Marty Mitchell, Brian Blundell, Kelvin Clark, Tristan Koch. Matthew Budd's back out there, 7 laps and down as we get a bit of a bottom view of Stephen Williams in the 98 machine. Nigel Seidel lap traffic up there in front of him. Still got, another 20, 30 laps before we have to worry about any more pit stops again, potentially for most of the riders. I think Jason Holdsworth and Ron Thompson may go in a little bit early. They've got about 27 laps in on their current setup. But that's the stop. That's the one where you'll see a little bit of strategy at play. And see how people handle it. That is the 00 of Gareth Anderson and Connor Nixon. Sorry, Andy Barber there, 9th and 10th. Up ahead of them is the 86 of Brian Blundell. He is in 23rd position, a lap down. It does have did have a fellow lap down person who wasn't racing, and that was Nick Bottle here. He's getting past the other side of Dale. This is Matthew Raymond up here, lap down as well. We're seeing a couple of frame drops. They're not coming up as drops though, so that's weird. I don't know. I have to really that's my project for the weekend, is look into those updates that Streamlabs apparently launched right as I went live, and see how we can fix that. I haven't updated my leaderboard stuff in a while, so maybe I'll update some for you. Maybe that might help. Telemetry stuff. Yeah. There's the 34 and the 42 on our screens. The 34 is in 14th. That's Ryan Carlson in the red truck. The dark blue one on the inside, racing past him, is the 42 of Lachlan Akijo. He's our second place driver. I've lost him on my relative. There we go. Edward Foster just in front of him. So Edward, our race leader, Lachlan, really trying to do everything he can to get around that lap traffic and keep that battle alive with Edward. 67 of 167, almost 100 laps remain in this race. Lap 69, nice. We're going to get this one. Look, the 53, Edward Foster down the backstretch. Looks like he does have, I can sort of see on the leaderboard there, the 42 and the 34. We're on the track map, the 34, I couldn't quite see what the 34 was at the time. I'm just trying to see it. Ryan Carlson in 14th place. Ryan Carlson running position on the track, basically running in third place as he's just behind the first and second our leaders. Nat, hey, thanks for tuning in again. Having a few little technical difficulties. Had a Streamlabs update right before I went live, and it's bugging me out a little bit. I'm noticing some little spots. So apologies for the technical difficulties, but this is our Australian and NASCAR eSeries Friday Night Trucks powered by Beat the Dark, Fort Worth, USA, Texas Motor Speedway. Lap 71 of 167. They're coming up on that halfway mark. Sorry, my throat's a bit crusty. Coming up 20 laps to the potential fuel window. 20 laps is 90 to 100 will be our fuel window. Looks good for me. Maybe I'm because I'm speed. No, I'm not sure if because I've got a bit of a replay buffer anyway, so I think that's smoothed out a lot. So what I see live in the studio screen isn't necessarily what's going out live, but it's just I'm paranoid like that. So but everything else seems to be running smooth, no errors. So fingers crossed, but. Looks like they were, looks like our lead two, Edward Foster and Lachlan Akijo, were, looks like we've got a bit of an accident here. Nick Botterill, the 225. Let's go back and see if we can see what happened there. Our first caution for the night. The 02, Darren McKenzie. Oh, it looked like he moved up to, well, it might have been a little bit of a block there from Darren McKenzie trying to stop that positional battle. But then, they do come into contact there. Darren McKenzie, the 02, the 225, Nick Botterill. Big crash. Looks like a couple of cars unable to avoid the truck as it comes down the pack. That is not good for those guys. Looked like Nick and Darren looking to keep that battle alive and not allow either one to get the advantage just before the halfway. Like, still a lot of race laps to go, so not sure that was the wisest tactic. Should just let him go and live to fight another day. Now he's going to have to go to the pits, get some repairs. A lot of the other guys are electing to as well. The 53 our race leader, Edward Foster, there he is. He's getting in the pits a little bit earlier than the pit window requires, but at this stage, yeah, you'll take it because if there's a green flag run, to the rest of the for a big part of the race. He's now just got 45 to 50 laps of fuel to play with, and that's going to get him pretty much almost a big part of the way home. Andy Barber out on the track still. Just trying to work out who's roughly going to be our race restart. There's the pace car there. Actually, let's just jump to the pace car. There we go. All right, while they're pacing, NASCAR rules state they must pace 3 laps, and then the last one, green flag, double wide. While they're getting that one set up, I will just step away from the mic for one moment. I'll be back. All right, looks like we are 1 to green. You're going to start to line up. Oh, no, that's not the camera I wanted. Get up to the lead. The number of cars, pretty much all of the cars pit, bar maybe 1 or 2. So this is going to be a great 90 lap run. What do we got? Edward Foster in the front row. Lachlan Akisha is going to resume that battle outside him. Second row, Stephen Williams and Adam Malone. Maxie Marshall and Jason Holdsworth on that third row. Fourth row is Ron Thompson, Connor Nixon. Fifth row is going to be Ruben Phelps and Andy Barber. Ryan Carlston and Mark Cochran on that sixth row. Seventh row, Adam Johnson and Nathan Button. Matthew Raymond and Darren McKenzie on that eighth row. Ninth row, Noddy Tompkins and Brian Blundell. Kelvin Clark, Jared Williams on that 10th row. 11th row is going to be Tristan Kosh and Marty Mitchell. Gareth Anderson. Oh, is Gareth in the pits? I think Gareth might be in the pits. And Matthew Budd back there on that 13th row by himself, or maybe on the 12th row actually. Looks like Nick Botterill, Gareth Anderson, Nigel Seidel, Matt Patton. Gareth Anderson has retired, it seems. Nick Botterill, Nigel Seidel, and Matt Patton in the pits. Alright, we are back and racing lap 78 of 167. So these guys to sort of get back up to speed, get these tyres warm, and get that racing back underway. Everyone basically racing the car in front of them. So a few new opportunities have now opened up. Some of these cars were surrounded by lapped traffic cars. They were battling themselves, but some of the lead cars not able to battle their positions, which will definitely allow for some of that. Might be a bit early for some competitive racing at this stage. We'll have to wait and see, but yeah, still quite some laps to go. Looks like the 6 and 5 1. Out there to identify who that is. It's Marty Mitchell in 22nd place. Bud's going to move himself up as he is only 7 laps down, moving Gareth Anderson to 8 laps down, back into 25th place. Nick Boschwitz is the next person that is looking to get some laps back on. Moving into 23rd, and he can start trying to battle for Marty Mitchell's position. But up the front, we can see here, that's Adam Malone. He's our 5th car in that top 5. In front of him, it is Edward Foster, Ron Thompson, Connor Nixon, and our current race leader, the 11 of Jason Holdsworth, who's one of the quickest guys in practice and out there in qualifying. It looks like he has got that fresh tyre run happening. Really enjoy Texas, 1.4 odd miles. It's just a really good track. It's not too difficult. You can run it pretty much a few different ways. Most of it flat out. So it's not as intimidating as a Speedway, not as small as a short track, but still allows for some great racing because you can't relax. You can if you get too low in 3 and 4, 1 and 2, but more often 3 and 4, then that apron will drag you out and spin you a bit. You can with the tyre wear. Come out of 3 and 4, out of 4 really a little bit too quick sometimes later in the tyre wear run. 1 and 2 sometimes is high if you like that, but these boys, they know that, so they'll run to those styles. They'll try and preserve that tyre wear, run the best lines, keep that fuel count sort of ticking over, but not as fast as it needs to, and see where they fall. Lachlan Akija there, back in 8th spot before those first few pits. That last caution was battling for the lead. In fact, I think it was he was battling for the lead at the start of this restart. He was in the front row there, so it looks like something's happened with him and Edward Foster, causing Edward to fall back to 5th. Lachlan back to 8th. To say Jason Holdsworth and Connor Nixon, they're our new 1 and 2. The third place is Ron Thompson. Ruben Phelps leaving 4th. Yep, and then Adam Malone 5th place to round out that top 5. Halfway mark is just about done. We're at lap 85. We'll be lap 86. Quite the halfway mark if my math is correct. Half of 167 would be, look, it'll be 84, 85, so I suppose that's about right. Felt like that guy that was like 15 cents a quarter. 60 cents. Lap 83, sorry, not 83, lap 87, 81 to go. I was looking at the 80 count on the to go and read it as current laps. It's 82 and they crossed the finish line, so it's 83, but no, it's 81 to go now, because that's lap 87. We've got a bit of a 3-car battle going on for the lead. It's Jason Holdsworth, Ruben Phelps and Connor Nixon. Looks like Connor's moved himself up into 2nd, Ruben's back to 3rd, but or it might actually be a 4-car race with Ron A. Thompson. Let's get up there and have a look. Let's get up there and have a squeeze, because that looks pretty fun on my truck map. They've got like a 4-car train going. Jason's, well, there's a 3-car train and then there's Jason out in the front, is what we see right now. So to really get a good vibe on what's happening, we'll go to the 02 car. We'll go to the 2 car. Oh, the 06, sorry. Oh no, that's right. We're on the 06 is in the front, the 22, which is Ron Thompson back there behind. That looks like as soon as I identified it on the track map, it's kind of settled down a little bit. But they are definitely pulling away. They are 6 seconds ahead of the next pack, which is this one here. Adam Malone, Andy J. Barber, Matthew Raymond, Edward Foster, Lachlan Akijo. There's another little pack back behind them that I think is led by the 777. Yeah. As they come into view, the 02 of Darren McKenzie, we see him there amongst a number of other cars. Brian Blundell, Adam Johnson, Brian Carlson, Tristan Koch is there, Jared Williams. All of them battling it out for whatever they can get, whether it's a scrap, a bit of extra time, whatever. There's our current race leader, Ruben Phelps. Number of leaders here in this race tonight. Jason Holsworth's going to fall back to second. Connor Nixon still there in third. Ron Thompson is also still part of that 4-car pack. Bud there in the 327, I believe, 237. Just moving out of the way on our screens as that lead pack came through down nice and low. That's the type of stuff you get to like to see. It's not his race. He's not up there racing for the lead pack. Let him by. Try and jump onto the end even, catch on and yeah, ride their coattails for sure. Wrecked that spot. We're currently driving along with Adam Johnson in 15th. You see Ryan Carlson in the red 34. The 02 of Darren McKenzie in the white and blue truck. Settling in up on that high line behind Darren McKenzie. 20th lap run so far on these tyres. 74 laps to go as we get close and closer to that 100 lap mark. Lap 96 of 167 is about to begin. 72 more to come. You see the 229 slot out below the 02 of Darren McKenzie. He wants to make that run. Now we're watching Jason Ruben Phelps, Connor Nixon, Ron Thompson. A 4-car lead pack. Really can't do any wrong. They do have Marty Mitchell and Noddy Tompkins coming up ahead of him. Let's see how they handle that. If it's anything like the other guys, which the point there I was going to make is that the driving is so good and competitive here that the guys, there's really not much need for any instruction. They get out of the way and sort of don't interrupt the race. But Marty Mitchell and Noddy Tompkins are battling each other up here. Noddy Tompkins does currently have the advantage. So we'll see what happens. Either way, there's no positional issue for Noddy. If Marty does get by him, he is a number of laps down, 3 more laps down than him, 4 to 1. See how it plays out. That's sort of broken little bit, sort of joined on, almost become the third car in that two-car pack of Noddy Tompkins and Marty Mitchell now. Looks like he wants to put them between him and the second, third, and fourth place cars on our screens. It's a smart move. It's you know, if anything does happen, it keeps him away from it and keeps them back a bit. See how Ruben Phelps goes. Looks like Marty Mitchell's become the sandwich with Noddy Tompkins. The lead is Ronnie Thompson, Connor Nixon, and Ruben Phelps, second, third, and fourth. A bit exciting Friday night trucks, powered by Beat the Dark. Australian NASCAR eSeries Round 9, Texas Motor Speedway. Rest of the halfway mark of the rounds, 19 rounds. Round 9. So yeah, you would almost basically say this is the halfway mark. 22, poked his nose out there. I wonder if he looked and thought, maybe I've got a bit of a run on Connor. No, likes to just line up back behind him. Over the 101 lap, in the triple digit laps, 101 and 167 is what I was trying to say. 66 laps remain in this race. Get to the almost the final third. Still got about 20 laps before any of the other cars need a pit window. Look for some of those early cautions, especially around the 50 to go mark, 45 to go, because that is the national pit window, so that will give them enough fuel to run home. But we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Four laps to go, 104 laps in, and Jason Holdsworth still our race leader. Ruben Phelps in a second, Connor Nixon third, Ron Thompson and Eddie Barber fourth and fifth. Adam Malone, Edward Foster, Lachlan Akijo, Stephen Williams and Maxi Marshall. That's our 10 and our lead lap. One lap down is 11 to 14th. Matthew Raymond, Ryan Carlson, Darren McKenzie and Adam Johnson. And we've got 2 laps down, 15th to 20th. Noddy Tompkins, Brian Blondell, Kelvin Clark, Tristan Koch and Jared Williams. Mark Cochran's in 21st, 4 laps down, 5 laps down for Marty Mitchell. Pardon me, 22nd. 23rd is Matthew Budd, 8 laps down. Nick Botterill, Nigel Seidel and Matt Payton all in the pits, 32 or more laps down. Gareth Anderson has parked his vehicle on the truck. No chance for him to get back out on the track at all. I mean, he could fly, he could come back in. He's 34 laps down at 25th. Ruben Phelps and Ron A. Thompson, second, third, and fourth. Jason Holdsworth, about a second lead on that pack. Looks like Mark Cochran, the 21st car, number 15 in 21st position. Potentially catching up. I thought he was going to look to get onto that draft, but maybe not. Gone up high. Park Round 9 competition. We are getting into the gritty. Most of these cars 31 to 36 laps on the tyres with fuel. It's not that yet a concern, but any time after say another 5 or so laps, 10 laps, I don't think that they'll go in if there is a caution, because that will see them all the way home for the last stop. The 42 of Lachlan Akisha, we see Stephen Williams and briefly see Maxi Marshall back there to round out the 10. Up in front of Lachlan though, that's Edward Foster. Those two were battling for 1 and 2 a number of laps ago, about 50 laps ago, 59 laps ago. But after the last caution and mandatory pit stop, have fallen back down the pack a couple of spots. Nixon was in the lap traffic, Adam Johnson, Darren McKenzie in front of him, and then in front of them we see Connor's main target, that's the 11, Jason Holdsworth. He is the race leader. There's a big bullseye on his back and everyone gunning for it. Darren McKenzie up high there. As the lead pack comes racing through. Second, third, and fourth. But, you know, felt safe to consider them the lead pack at this stage. Jason Holdsworth about a second, almost a second and a half ahead of him. How he got that run, I'll never know. He doesn't have a draft, it's just him in front of a 3-car pack, almost a 4-car pack. That really... Not to tell people how to drive or how to race, but if they all got together, teamed up with that draft, I'm sure they could drag Jason Holdsworth down, possibly even challenge for the lead. And if you've got a 3-car pack challenging a 1-car pack, then yeah, you can go from first to fourth real quick. That's the one caution. A lot of the cars had just 2 pit stops, some a third, having to go a little bit earlier due to some on-track shenanigans between themselves and the obstacles they faced. There's screens, but we can see the track. Thompson gone over to see Ruben Phelps rear end. She outclines one. With Connor. There's the 53. Foster, he has been scored as the race leader earlier tonight. Looking to battle his way back up into that field. Alright, a lot of these guys, top 10 especially, starting to get down to that 5 laps remaining fuel count. Maybe 10 if they're lucky, if they've conserved well. It certainly will be a factor. They will be looking at that little black box. They will be listening to that crew chief as he tells them how many laps remain on that fuel. Do they wait and see if someone's going to try and sneak in and drop in behind them? Do they hold out a lap? Oh, almost a little bit of contact there between the 2 and the 06. It's Connor Nixon and Ruben Phelps. I was going to say Connor would be well suited. Just drop down in below Ruben. Don't drop down too low and try and get that nose under him. Oh, I think our race cam there got a little bit of a shake as those cars come screaming by. The 06 and the 02, they're now side by side. Let's see how Ron Thompson handles that. The 53 of Edward Foster. Got Adam Malone and Andy Barber ahead of him, but does have a lap down Matthew Foster behind him. So Matthew Raymond. Just 50 laps remain in this epic battle at Texas Motor Speedway. 27 trucks took the track, 23 still remain. 10 of those on the lead lap. Riding along with the 11th place, Matthew Raymond. That's that red and black 83, the red and black attack. Has got Foster, Adam Malone and Andy Barber ahead of him, but they are a lap ahead as well as positions. Get by them, he's getting a whole lap around and get by him again. That is no easy feat. Just the one caution so far. A lot of cars coming up into that pit window. 45 to 50 laps you can run on the fuel provided. We did see someone down low. I believe that was the 229 or maybe the 00 Gareth Anderson heading into the pits. It was. Oh no, Gareth's left. Gareth's not in the race anymore. Top 10, 48 lap green flag run on these tyres and fuel, so definitely looking at their options. Let's see who leads first. Jason Holdsworth, our race leader, so all eyes will be on him. Let's see what he does first, possibly. Christian Koch, the 550, he's just gone into the pits. Ball back down to 19th position. Darren McKenzie also in the pits. We start to see some of those cars going in top 10. Has not changed, however. 11, Jason Holdsworth, race leaders today in the race. 50 laps. He has raced Connor Nixon, Ron Thompson, Ruben Phelps, Andy Barber, Edward Foster. Guy that we're viewing it right now, Adam Malone, Lachlan Akijo, they're all about to hit their 50. If they haven't already, a couple of cars starting to go in. Edward Foster and Stephen Williams. We said Darren McKenzie, Noddy Tompkins, Christian Koch is back out. Stephen was the first of the top 10s to go in and get that last stop out of the way. Now it's a chance to battle their way up and see what sort of teammates they can line up and get a draft running on and capitalise on some of those extra positions. Looks like the 1 and the 08, Adam Malone, Maxi Marshall, they've just gone in together in the pits, the 777. Clark's gone in, the 11 of Jason Holdsworth, the race leader. Connor Nixon, Ron Thompson, Ruben Phelps, looks like Andy Barber might have stayed out. I can't quite tell. No, Andy's gone in as well. Keisho might have stayed out. See the pits. A lot of cars have gone into the pits. I believe there's about 15 right now. It's the 337. Matthew Budd. 8 laps down, so not needing to go in just yet. 49 laps on the old lap count though for the last run for him, so he will be considering it very, very soon. Looks like Jason Holdsworth's been able to get back out as he's coming out of the pit exit onto the back stretch. Got the race lead again. Connor Nixon maybe. No, Ron Thompson got out of the pits before Connor, so Ron's going to move into second. Connor Nixon in third. Ruben Phelps back to fourth. Almost 40 laps remain, 128th lap coming up very soon. See some of these cars three wide as we just try and get a bit of an idea of who's where and what's what. 22 of Ron Thompson, Connor Nixon's there, Ruben Phelps as they get past the 15 at Mark Cochran. 30th lap is underway, just 38 to go. There are a few battles going on. Ron A. Thompson and Ruben Phelps, Connor Nixon, they're battling for second, third and fourth. That is where the race has been all night. Jason Holdsworth was initially part of that pack, but once he was able to get out of the gates and get going, he did not let that opportunity slip. It's a 5-5-0. Tristan Kosh is 3 laps down, back in 16th place, so not his race. Let him get by and let's get a good seat as we watch Connor Nixon, Ron Thompson and Ruben Phelps battle it out for second, third and fourth. Let's see what else is bring up. Oh, there's been a crash. The 06 of Ruben Phelps, the 22 of Ron A. Thompson, that's third and fourth. They have come into contact. Ron got the worst of it. Down into the wall. Like he might have been having a bit of trouble getting that into gear there. Oh, she looks a little bit more bent than I thought. Second, a caution out. If you have not pit, now would be a great time to get in and get those tyres if you only grabbed fuel last run or whatever it was that you did. Alright, bear with me guys while they get the first 2 laps out of the way, get those pit stops possibly in if they need to. I'll be back in just a moment. Alright, as expected in this one, not a lot of cars going into the pits. The 22 did, he was involved in that incident, so definitely going to go in and have a look at that damage. Just getting some refreshing liquid down that throat. Cars coming down that back stretch. Get a track cam, have a look. Our second caution of the night, third start. It's going to be Jason Holdsworth and Connor Nixon on that front row. Ruben Phelps and Edward Foster are going to be on the second row. Third row is going to be Andy Barber and Stephen Williams. Lachlan Akijo and Adam Malone. The fourth row, fifth row is going to be actually Maxi Marshall and Matthew Raymond because Ron Thompson's still in the pits. Ryan Carlson, Nathan Barton, Kelvin Clark, Brian Blundell, Tristan Koch, Adam Johnson, Jared Williams, Mark Cochran, Noddy Tompkins, Darren McKenzie, Marty Mitchell, Matthew Budd. Obviously, Ron, as a number of those cars are a few laps down, he may slot back in somewhere in the middle. We'll have to wait and see. It looks like a couple of other guys going into the pits there. We've got Matthew Raymond, Ruben Phelps, Adam Johnson, Mark Cochran, Noddy Tompkins, as well as Matty Budd, it looks like. The leaderboard broke. Take it down and button. Come on, leaderboard software, don't fall over on me now. Go green, it's 2 to go, it's 1 to go, come on. God, this is really been good night for it, hasn't it? I wonder if it is my racing software. That leaderboard to turn back on. Camera controls. Alright, 1 to green. Looks like we are just about back in this race. It'll be 136 of 167 when we get this one back underway. The 337, I see him on the tail end. Matthew Budd racing his way back up to that group. Looks like the 119 just catching up as well. That's Noddy Tompkins. Race cars left the track. Off we go. I'm sure I scored Noddy Tompkins. Ruben Phelps as the race leader. It is Jason Holdsworth, as we can see there, with 32 laps to come. 15 minutes more racing remaining. Let's see what the boys can do with that. 2 of Connor Nixon, 53 of Edward Foster, 98 of Steve Williams, and 5 of Andy Barber. That's the top 5. We've got Malone's there, Lachlan Akijo, Ron Thompson, Maxi Marshall. Looks like Ruben Phelps, unfortunately, going into the pit. Not sure if to serve a drive-through penalty there, or if there's some issues with the car, but Ruben Phelps going into the pits. Yeah, it looked like that was a drive-through penalty. Did not come to a stop. That is unfortunate. With the incident count, once they reach a certain amount, they do get a drive-through penalty. Once they receive a few extra after that, they are disqualified. Well, caution is out. The 96 and the 86, it seems. Let's see what might have happened there. curve. Oh, there's the contact with the 86 of the 96, depending on how you see it on the leaderboard. That is what has brought out our third caution. Alright, one moment folks, I'll be back in just a second. Alright, this will possibly be a green flag run from here. We'll have to wait and see. 140 of 167 laps in, 28 still to come. A few of those to roll out via the yellow flag. Like the 96 of Jared Williams is elected to go into the pits. The 22 of Ron Thompson in there at the moment. Maybe just get a little bit of that extra damage sorted out from that incident earlier. Looks like about 10 cars on the lead lap. Ron Carlson, 1 lap down. Nathan Button behind him, 2 laps. 3 laps down for Kelvin Clark, Tristan Koch, Adam Johnson, and Brian Blundell. Jared Williams also 3 laps down, but currently in the pits. See a couple of extra cars there. Mark Cochran, Noddy Tompkins going into the pits. Background there. While we're on a caution, we'll just go back over that that recap in points. Oh, I've lost it myself on my screen. Let me go through there so we can see there on the left the results from Martinsville. Top 5 was Connor Nixon. He's currently in 2nd place tonight. Adam Malone, Ruben Phelps, Gareth Anderson, and Matthew Budd. But in terms of the standings, after the last 8 rounds before this race tonight, the top 10, Stephen Williams, Connor Nixon, Ron Thompson, Daniel Stevens, Jason Holdsworth, Luke Wilson, they all have wins on the board. Points behind 7. In 7th, Ruben Phelps, Bryce Meddings in 8th, Andy Barber 9th, Darren McKenzie in 10th. The rest of the 20, Gareth Anderson, Nathan Button, Henry King, Brian Blundell, Kelvin Clark, Matthew Raymond, Nigel Seidel, Adam Malone, Aaron Gilbert, and Colin Bruns. Will our new winner join that point system after tonight, or will it be one of our top 6 in points who've already got a win? We'll have to wait and see. Still 27 laps to come before we even look like getting this started. 26, sorry, I think will be the one to go. Let's have a look. It is lap 143 will be our green flag lap. 25 to come. Let's get the score off the board there. As they are set up double wide. Jason Holdsworth, Connor Nixon, Edward Foster and Andy Barber, Stevie Williams and Adam Malone, Lachlan Akijo, Maxie Marshall, Matthew Raymond and Ruben Phelps, Ron Carlston and Nathan Button, Kelvin Clark, Tristan Koch, Adam Johnson and Brian Blundell, Matthew Cochran, Noddy Tompkins, Darren McKenzie and Marty Mitchell. We'll get their names right. And then Matthew Budd. Looks like the 119 racing his way around Noddy Tompkins to get back onto that pack before we get to the restart zone. car will leave the track very soon. We're going to get this one back underway in just a moment. 3 cautions tonight at the Texas Motor Speedway, Fort Worth, USA. This is the Australian NASCAR eSeries Friday Night Trucks, powered by Beat the Dark. Mental health matters. Pace car leaves the track. We're going to get this one back underway. There's the Geico restart zone. The boys fire. We are racing. Off to a great start, as he has had right from that starting position, as he's had it. Connor Nixon, Edward Foster, they're battling it out. Edward Foster's got himself back into the top 3. That Stephen Williams and Andy Barber, 4th and 5th. Lachlan Akijo, Matthew Raymond, Adam Malone, Ruben Phelps, Maxie Marshall, all back there to round out that 10-car lead lap field. Very interesting at the moment. 24 laps remaining. There, we'll definitely jump to it. Foster's going to do the smart thing and attach that nose to the rear of Jason Holdsworth. It's only going to take him places. Kijo in the 42 machine. Adam Malone just there behind him. We can see Andy Barber and Connor Nixon at the bottom of the screen. 46 car. Myself might be time that the mud mule machine, gets really hard, flowing out and very thermal pasted, so we can make sure it's running at its fullest potential. But 21 to go, will be 20 to go. Boys coming into 3 and 4 right now. See that the 2 of Connor Nixon and Michael Nakija side by side. Actually, no, it looks like that's actually Andy Barber and Connor Nixon. I'm not sure. There's a few little 2-car battles going on here. We have a 10-car field that's still in the lead lap. Edward Foster right there behind Jason Holdsworth, though he's not letting that go. Stephen Williams not far behind them, but then Andy Barber, Connor Nixon, Lachlan Akijo, as we can see on the screen. Coming up to our 150th lap. Just imagine 150 laps at Texas Motor Speedway. Only 12 of those taken up by yellow flags. So that still leaves 138 green flag laps that these lads have run. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The schedules that the Australian NASCAR series throw at the boys in the same track count. Certainly preferential to the I think 60, maybe halfway, the sort of half mark, 60 to 80 laps. That starts to be a bit of a, unless you can break them down successfully, it gets a bit long. These boys, though, masters of endurance. They have raced some 200 lappers, 100 lappers. It's crazy. Those guys are put in. quickest lap out there tonight. Edward Foster, who is our new race leader. Going to get up to the lead just to check that out and see what Jason does in reply. But 29.680. Fastest last lap was Lachlan Akijo, 13.079. Here we can see got a couple of lines starting to form here. Jason Holdsworth on the inside of the line. It is Edward Foster on the outside. He's going to move back down in front of Jason though. Stephen Williams, Connor Nixon, Lachlan Akijo's back there as well. This is turning into a race with 15 to go. Edward Foster does look like he is back in control. He was controlling maybe the first third of the race, maybe the first, say fifth. Him and Ruben Phelps having some great races. He is back again. Jason Holdsworth, Stephen Williams. Has pulled out of the race. The one truck, 18th position, 6 laps down. So with the laps remaining, Darren McKenzie, Marty Mitchell and Matthew Budd should all get past him, pushing him back to 21st position when it's all said and done. But up the front, we've got 9 cars on the lead lap. Edward Foster's our race leader. Jason Holdsworth is second. Stephen Williams and Lachlan Akijo third and fourth. Connor Nixon is 5th. Andy Barber and Ruben Phelps 6th and 7th. Maxie Marshall, who was our quickest last lap, in 8th. And Matthew Raymond in 9th, a little bit off of that lead pack. He will drop back to 21st. Matthew Budd will have a chance just to get those few extra points, and in a 19 race series, round 9, that is very important. You want to maximize that point input. Just love watching this race up the front. Looks like Stephen Williams on a bit of a different line than the rest of them. Well, some of the same line for a bit. They drop down, he stays up, so it sort of bounces between Lachlan and Stephen as the third car in this 3-car run. With 10 to go, lap 150 out of 167. Edward Foster still our race leader. Jason Holdsworth, our previous race leader, right there behind him. Carefully crafted pit stops have enabled Edward to just really get back into it when it mattered. Get the 1 hour 20 mark of the broadcast coming up on 10 p.m. Not a lot of racing to go. We'll have a bit of a chat to the top 2 when it's all said and done. Who's it going to be? It looks like it might be Edward Foster and Jason Holdsworth. As we've seen in those races, anything can and will happen. Edward and Jason is pulling away from that lead pack, anywhere from half a second to almost a full second lead. Riding along with Edward Foster down that backstretch into 3 and 4 with just 8 to come. Sorry, 7 to come. It will be lap 161 as they come through the tri-oval portion of the race. Into 1 and 2. What's Jason going to do? Has he got anything in that truck? Can the 11 come back and win this? Will the 53 hold him off? Got 6.5 laps to find out. Show he is in third, and he's starting to break away from that fourth and fifth place car, trying to keep up with the first and second. He wants to be a part of the top three podium finish, but if he can, he'd like to capitalise and take that second place spot, if not first. Four cars have retired. Adam Malone, Ron Thompson, Gareth Anderson and Matt Patton. Jared Williams, Nick Rotman, Nigel Seidel all sitting in the pits. We're almost at the end of the famed 5 to go. This is it, the dying stages of this race. Edward Foster, 41 lap run here on this current setup, so has timed that run home beautifully. The pit window 45 to 50 laps. He's going to come home at around lap 45 on this run. Nothing reserved if there's a caution, but really just masterful craft in this run. Sitting back in about 7th race for a big part of that 164 lap run. Just the, what sort of cliche can I use? The dominoes have fallen cards. I wonder with 2 to go as they come out of 4 here and get to that start finish line. Jason Holdsworth is going to start to formulate what plan, if there's anything left. We might still have a green, white, checkered finish. We don't want to count our chickens before they've hatched. But they're coming into 3 and 4. They are practically side by side. Look like Jason was trying to go for it. No, that was Edward, sorry, was that white. Jason was able to get under him with 1 lap to come. Jason Holdsworth, our new race leader. The 53 of Edward Foster. Looks like he's got a bit of speed, so he's trying to find some avenue where he can get past. 42's right there as well, but is he just sort of sitting back a little bit going, come on, one of you guys, if you muck up, I am taking advantage. May not have enough speed to really battle, but if someone makes a silly move as we come into 3 and 4 for the last time, after a bit of a race scare there, Jason Holdsworth is going to take out round 9 at the Texas Motor Speedway round of the Friday night trucks powered by Beat the Dark. I really had no idea what words I was going to string together there, if you could not tell. Edward Foster second, Lachlan Guido third, Stephen Williams finished in 4th, Connor Nixon 5th, Maxie Marshall 6th. So there's a friendly little turn at Jason there at the end. 7th, Andy Barber, Ruben Phelps in 8th, Matthew Raymond 9th, 10th, Ryan Carlson, 11th to 20th, Nathan Button, Kelvin Clark, Tristan Kosh, Adam Johnson, Brian Blundell, Mark Cochran, Noddy Tompkins, Darren McKenzie, Marty Mitchell, Matthew Budd, Adam Malone and Ron Thompson, 21, 22, 23 was Jared Williams, 24th, Nick Bottrell, Gareth Anderson in 25th, 26th, Nigel Seidel, and Matt Payton in 27th. No limits, Texas. There he goes. Do those burnouts. You have earned it tonight, Jace. Good on you, brother. All right, let's jump over to the Discord. We'll have a bit of a chat to the lads. This will be Jason Holdsworth's second win in 9 races. Where are we? Over here. All right, we're going to start off with our 3rd place finisher. On paper, it looks like he basically finished where he started on that inside pole, 2nd row, 3rd place. But, geez, that was a heck of a battle. 3 cautions, couple of pit stops, a masterful 43 lap run home after that last pit. Congratulations, Lachlan. You got third place.
Cheers, Bob. Yeah, I think I've just got. I mean, the caution there helped me out a lot. I got a little bit lucky with that one, but I think stretching that stint out where I had to run those old tyres, believe it or not, I think I did about 85 laps on those tyres in that middle
Ouch.
stint. So they were not happy at the end there. But no, that helped me a lot, especially when that yellow came out, and I just had a couple of laps of better, fresh rubber on everyone around me. But no, it was good racing from everyone. A lot of respect out there. So good fun, and yeah, just a couple laps short of being able to have a go at Ed and Jace, but that was awesome.
That was it. I thought that it looked like, and it's sort of easy to see it differently up here, but it looked like you might have just been sort of sitting there, not hoping. Yeah, you don't want someone to crash out or just someone to do something stupid, but it looked like you were just sort of sitting there going, if these guys keep going at it the way they're going at it, you might be able to capitalize. So it's, third place definitely you would not throw your nose up at in this type of field, but there definitely was a potential for a second or first place finish there with the way that they were battling, especially lap two to go. That looked like you had probably the best seat in the house for. I wasn't sure if some of that side by side battle, that side draft was going to pay off, but it did. It look like Ed got a little bit higher than he wanted to, and Jason able to get past him. But is it hard concentrating and doing what you're doing while you get to see some really cool racing in front of you like that?
Oh, well, I mean, when you're new to it all, taking in all the things is quite difficult. But I guess when you just get used to it, you learn to sort of block it out a little bit. Like my focus wasn't so much on those two. I was just trying really hard to get the absolute most out of what I had left in the truck,
Yep.
which wasn't a hell of a lot at the end there. I mean, I went pretty hard for that last little stint, but no, I think you are definitely paying attention to what they're doing. But I think for me, I was more just keeping an eye on whether there was any contact, and but also at the same time, I know Jason and Ed are top operators. Those two boys
Mm,
can win anything in anything. So I had a lot of trust that they wouldn't take each other out, but at the
yep.
same time, you just in the back of your mind, just keeping an eye on it. But no, I think that they're too good of an operators. I mean, they might have come together and slowed each other up, which that was more what I was trying to hope for because
Mm.
if they wrecked out, it makes it a little bit hollow. But no, they held it together, and no, it was good to watch. But yeah, I think my focus was more on keeping that thing going as hard as possible because it was a real fine line, one line truck kind of racetrack sort of
Uh,
situation.
Does it go fast enough that hopefully the air just keeps you on that rail line and you don't get too slidey coming out of four to the that end lap run? Definitely was a great race, and I think there was some really good battles across the track, but none more so than that consistent top five, top six battle all throughout the night. Whether it was the mixture that it was now, which was yourself, Jace, Edward Foster, Stephen Williams, Connor Nixon, Maxi Marshall, but Ruben Phelps was a big component of it in the first half of the race. Ron A. Thompson, you really can't just count him out a lot of the time. Sometimes it's just wrong place, wrong time for him. There's a few guys. Darren McKenzie's another one. It's just I guess those that race build, the patience and the opportunities that sometimes it's opportunities that you don't take that win your races than the ones that you do take. So no, some smart choices, some good racing, and a good result in that race here at Texas Motor Speedway. Now, before I let you go, my friends, family, sponsors go into making this possible, so they definitely deserve some love. Who would you like to give a shout out to?
First of all, shout out to Mad Dog for looking after us this year, and Aussie Canna for looking after Matty Ray, who's the big boss man. And
Yep.
then obviously big shout out to the team, Matty, Ruben, our new recruit Matthew. He had a bit of a rough race tonight, but I think he had a bit of trouble on pit road. But otherwise, he was quick tonight. But yeah, no, thanks to those boys, and big thanks to yourself for putting on the show. It's always good fun going back and watching it back.
Awesome, man. Now, you guys, you do all the hard work, put on the good show. I've just got the lucky job of getting to sit here and watch it and call it, so I appreciate you all. Well, best of luck next week. And yeah, look, we'll have you back in the booth anytime we can.
Cheers, Bob.
Thank you. All right, that was Lachlan Akijo. He was our third place finisher. Now, this next man was our race leader a number of times, both at the start and at the end of the race, ultimately finishing second after starting, I think, third row back. So was pretty much amongst it from the get go. But Edward Foster, congratulations on that second place finish.
Yeah, thanks for that. A little bit disappointed. The race wasn't a couple of laps shorter, but yeah, all things considered, considering sort of where we were at the beginning of the race, and sort of halfway through, kind of, it was looking a bit bleak there for a while with the way that the tyres worked out. So yeah, happy to come away with P2. And look, anytime you get a good race like that at the end, it's always going to be a good time regardless.
Definitely could not agree more. Now, you're the fastest car out there for the night, 29.680. Quickest last lap, 38.67, went to the boss man, Jason Holdsworth, for the win. But it was a great battle. Uh, we'll talk about the first part of it first. I think a lot of it you were spending, I believe it was Ruben, the '06 Ruben Phelps was your main opponent for that first sort of, say, 40, 50 laps with the race lead, things like that. Now, if I remember correctly, I think you guys went in about 2 or 3 laps earlier than both A, the pit window, and B, when others started to go in. Do you feel like it's hard to sort of map that out and map a race out because you can't predict cautions and sometimes they can cut a fuel window sort of in half. But did you feel like during the race that might have put you on the back foot a little bit going in just those few laps earlier?
I actually ran my tank out, so
Oh, you ran your tank out.
I
I might have had
I
that wrong on my notes.
Yeah, no, I ran my tank out in that first one. I
Mm.
think I was running sort of there with Lachlan, and
I went in with
he was
Ruben
sort of
then.
running there with me, and we ran very much the same sort of strategy.
Mm.
We didn't really have a lot of tyres tonight. I was just talking to Jason about it before you pulled us up, and we only had 2 extra sets
Yep.
to go 160 odd laps, so it made it a bit tricky. I was kind of banking on after the cars sort of spread out. After I thought if there was going to be a caution, it'd probably be quite early, and then when we didn't get one, I thought, well, okay, well, we're probably going to get a long green flag run now. So I'll take the tyres now, and then I'll drop in, top off 20 laps of fuel or something. So get me in the pit window to get to the end, and then I'll take a set of tyres to get me to the end. And then we had that
Extra
very
caution.
inconveniently timed caution there, and that basically that essentially, because of the way that the tyre allocation was, that sort of ruined Lockie and my race. Kind of ruled us out. Like we were
Yep.
done. From that point onwards, we were never going to catch the top four, and we got a bit lucky with that late caution. Everybody was on similar sort of tyres.
Yep.
We're all
Yep.
about
By
one or
that
two laps
stage, yeah.
apart. And then I was a little bit worried because I'd taken quite a bit out of them when my last set, when I came out of the pits under green that last time, just
Yep.
seeing what I was able to gain, if anything, to the guys in front. It wasn't going to be enough. So I was a little bit concerned that I'd taken a bit too much out of them. And in the end, yeah, they kind of gave up about 2 laps from the end, just sort of fighting Jason like that. But I could sort of see what he was doing in terms of trying to set us up. He had me through turns 3 and 4, and I had him through 1 and 2, and I was just trying to, aero block him and all kinds of other things. But then I felt the right front starting to go with a couple of laps to go, and then he pulled alongside me. I'm like,
Yeah, that's when you know.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but yeah, like I say, anytime that you can have a good close race like that with side by side for the win in the final
Mm.
few laps, and of course Lockie was there in third, you can't complain about that. So yeah, P2 it is. I'm
Uh,
okay.
definitely. Texas Motor Speedway. I always feel like myself personally, top five there in any race is a good result. So yeah, and it's always tricky. I usually find that if I'm battling in a long one, if I'm battling for it at the start, I'm generally not by the end watching you guys. I've talked about on a lot of broadcasts. The endurance level of some of you guys is insane. Just that resilience and the fight back, and then you just realize in that final third of a race that these guys are like, and that's what happened when I realized you were battling for second initially back in those last sort of 10 laps. So like, just flew under the radar. You just sort of crawled your way back through, and in those stops, and it just worked out well for you. So it was awesome. And then yeah, watching those last few laps, I like it when there's just absolutely no certainty until pretty much until the checkered flag, and that was the race we got tonight. So I appreciate that. Um, you've already sort of shouted out a few of the guys, sort of mentioned a couple of the members, but friends, family, sponsors, who do you need to give shout outs for?
Oh, well, first of all, I'll give shout outs to yourself for getting on here and doing the broadcast.
Thank
I
you.
wasn't 100% sure whether we had a broadcast tonight, so looking forward to going and watching this one back. It should be a fairly fun last couple of laps. Obviously, the guys that put the series on, Jason, Nigel, and Andy, I think. I
Yep.
may not have that 100% right, but yeah, thanks to the guys that put it on anyway. It's really a nice break for me to take my league admin hat off for a night and just come out here and race. So, I don't have to worry about anything except for myself. So, that's kind of cool to be able to come out and run that. And, of course, the sponsors we have, Fully Floored, Turbo Alpha Japan, and Growth Odyssey. Big shouts out to those guys as well.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Well, look, we'll definitely have you back up in the booth anytime you can. There's still, another 10 races to come, so not quite the halfway mark, but just about there. Big thanks to you guys for putting on a great show, and yeah, congratulations on second.
Many thanks, mate.
Thank you. All right, that was
Bye.
Edward Foster. He finished second here today. That is going to leave just one more person now. As I said during our talk up in the race, was pretty much the quickest, one of the quickest out there. I think the only other quicker one out there in practice was probably Ron Thompson, but proved he was the quickest in qualifying as the fastest single car. Got pole position in the start of the race. Some, I guess, pit order, some weird caution, sort of shuffled you around the field a little bit, but once we got to that final sort of, I guess the last 40 laps, Jason, when you get into the lead, you really put that car in the lead, don't you?
Yeah, I'm just happy I didn't drop out. It was a brilliant race, though. Never knew, obviously, with only having 3 sets of tyres in total, strategy was all over the place. So never knew exactly where I was, if it was the right call, the wrong call.
Yep.
Obviously, when the first caution came out, well,
We've lost you there. Still with us, Jace? Lost Jace. There we go. I think he's back.
got me.
There
Got
we
me?
go.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, we just lost
So-
you for a second there, but no, continue.
Discord's been playing up.
Mm.
Yeah, that first caution obviously benefited us massively because we got to put on fresh boots. But the late cautions obviously bunched everyone up again. Brilliant last 15 laps, probably around about there with Ed. Thoroughly enjoyed it. That was brilliant. Some of the best racing I've had.
Now, I feel like there's a number of cars, and I probably get some of them wrong, but I think there's a number of cars you'll probably need to send a fruit basket to, guys like Ruben Phelps, I think Ron Thompson, Andy Barber, a couple of the other guys were there as well. But that top 5, that top 6, was pretty much the majority of the race, really, through each of the caution brackets and stuff. Was always pretty fluid, but there was a point there where there's about 4 or 5 of you. You just single filed and really started to run off away from that main pack, and there was some really good racing going on in the middle group behind you, but just sort of without intention, not to take away from your skills, but it just looked like they were on a different sort of a gear behind, and you got out to about a second lead for a long period there. Before, I think this was probably after the first caution.
Yeah.
After Edward and
Um,
one of the other guys was sort of doing the 1-2 bit, but talk us through that.
I think that was all brought on by themselves. Like,
Yeah.
I obviously got to the lead. Both Connor and Ron are teammates. So obviously when they started fighting with Ruben, it allowed me to obviously just get away, because they were obviously slowing each other down. So yeah, I was thankful for Ruben. I probably I owed him.
Ruben was
letting
definitely
me
one of the
start to
ones I
drive
was
off.
thinking of. Yep.
Yeah. Because obviously both Ron and Connor could see me just starting to drive off because I wasn't fighting anyone. So I'm looking after my tyres, just hitting my marks and starting to drive off. But lucky, unlucky for me or lucky for everyone else, there was another caution, bunched us all up, and we fought it out at the end.
Yep. Now, as Ed said in his little chat, he was pretty comfy. It looked pretty racy. Those last sort of say 6 to 7 laps, so lap 7 to 5, lap 7 to 4. It was very racy, but he said it sort of just right at that last second, he felt that front right sort of go, and he knew you were sort of not setting him up, but not giving him that line he really wanted, sort of aero blocking a little bit as well, and stopped that run. It looked like he might have got a little bit, I don't know, wide, or if it just the front right was a bit loose, so it dragged him up a bit, but I guess once you got that nose between him and that yellow line, the bottom apron there, it was just send it and take it home from there, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost him again.
Got me
There we
again?
go. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Ed's a very, very good driver, so I'm not just going to be able to send it underneath him and,
Yep.
pass him without any bit of skill. So it took obviously a few laps to set him up, obviously get him to use his tyres and put some heat into him so I could actually, overtake at the opportune time. Part of the reason why I wanted to leave it later in the run or close to the checkered flag is so that he can't sit back. Like if I passed him with 10 laps to go,
He
he
can
could
sort
sit
of
down,
work
cool his
his way.
tyres,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and get back to me. So if I do it with 2 laps to go, well, he doesn't have the opportunity to sit down and cool his tyres and get back to me.
Exactly. And taking out your second win in 9 races. Just sort of next race, obviously, is the midway mark of the season, 19 races season. So to have 2 wins under your belt in that time, and there's I think what 6 separate winners in those 9 races. So some stiff competition. But you got to be happy to be. I guess yeah, it's better to fire in the middle towards the end than it is to fire at the start and peak too soon. But hopefully the racing and the points build is going your way and sort of mapping out to how you had it outlooked.
Yeah, I'm just stoked that I'm guaranteed a playoff spot. Obviously, if there was too many winners, a person that does get a win may not make it. So I think that guarantees myself, Stevie Dub, and Connor
Yep.
entry into the playoffs for a few weeks. What's that? Probably about 5 or 6 weeks time.
Yep.
So we've got to start working obviously towards that. Obviously, keep building those points up so we can get those extra playoff points, and then have a good crack at the title and try and get to the championship 4.
Definitely. Well, look, wish you the best of luck, both yourself and any of the sort of your team and stuff that you've got in the stakes there. Yeah, 2 wins in 9 races against this field is pretty damn impressive, and you put on a great show tonight. Made my job very easy. Before we let you go and celebrate that win, friends, family, sponsors, who do you want to give a thanks to for getting you here?
Obviously, big thanks to the team Nitro, nitro-racing.com, Coca, who built the setup this week, and actually Matt Pat, who actually tweaked and got me that pole.
Yeah.
He did some work this afternoon to, um, help find some more speed in
Cost
that
himself the
qualifying
pole by
setup.
doing it. Yeah. Well, he didn't start in the other grid issues, but yeah, he qualified second in that run.
Yeah. So obviously, my whole team. Naturally, there's Dan, Russ, Dakota, Clayton.
Oh, I think we lost him again. Here we go.
Yeah.
We got to
The
Clayton.
whole entire team. Yeah. The whole entire team obviously have a big part in obviously helping build the setups to make sure I am obviously very fast on track.
Yep.
Obviously, thanks to Nige. It's a great pleasure. I love the league that he's put together. Yourself with your broadcast starting to come a long way, starting to obviously get there. So thanks to you too, Bob.
Thank you.
And all the guys in the race as well. They're starting to, excluding Martinsville, which is probably not driver. Let's be honest. I haven't seen anyone, any race be really good when there's been more than 20 people. But some of the racing this season's obviously been next level. And
Definitely.
as you said, I'm happy to win 2 out of 9. It's tough to win these races. I can tell you that now, Bob.
Well, I get to sit and watch some great racing. Saturday nights, I do get out on the track with a lot of you in the Super Speedway competition, and I can attest that you guys, not that I'm anything special, but you guys, it is tough. It is mentally tough trying to map out those races and make sure your pit stops are where they need to be, and you're in and out at the right time, and you got the right cars around you to keep the pace and keep the speed up. And yeah, so I can definitely attest that as I say, a top 5 in this crowd is a win in my books. You guys are pretty tough to race.
Yeah, definitely. Very good field.
Excellent, man. Well, look, see you next week. We'll have you back again. Where are we next week? Actually, let's have a quick look.
Talladega.
Talladega, one of my. See, a lot of people don't like Super. I absolutely love. I would race tricycles on Talladega if they let me. You know, like I would race anything
Yeah,
at Tally. I
I'm
love
not.
Tally.
I'm not the biggest fan of super speedways. So it is what it is. Everyone has their
That's
favorite
it.
things.
That's it. That's it.
Obviously, Texas is actually usually a bogey track for me. I seem to usually make a mistake here, so I'm
Yeah.
finally happy to get a win. I think it's one of my first wins at Texas in a league.
Awesome.
So
Awesome. All right, man. We'll let you go. Time to celebrate the win. You have a good weekend. We'll see you again next week for Talladega.
thanks, Bob.
Thank
Catch you
you.
next week.
Catch you, buddy. All right, that was Jason Holdsworth, our winner here tonight. We'll quickly go back over the grids. In last position, Matt Nigel Seidel, 26th, 25th, Gareth Anderson, 24th, Nick Botterill, Jared Williams, 23rd, 22nd, Ron Thompson, Adam Malone in 21st, 20th, Matthew Abad, Marty Mitchell finishing 19th, 18th was Darren McKenzie, Noddy Tompkins in 17th, 16th was Mark Cochran, Brian Blundell, and Adam Johnson, 15th and 14th. Tristan Kosh, Kelvin Clark, Nathan Button, and Ron Carlson were 13th, 12th, 11th, and 10th, respectively. Then the 9, Matthew Raymond in 8th, Ruben Phelps, Andy Barber 7th, Maxi Marshall 6th, 5th and 4th, Connor Nixon and Steve Williams. And then our interviewees, the top 3, Lachlan Akijo, I just said your name completely different there, Lachlan. Lachlan Akijo, Edward Foster, and of course tonight's winner, Jason Holdsworth. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. I have to run because